of Brian Narducci. And the number 96 makes up the rest of the field, Nancy Mooney-Root of Harton, Connecticut.
All right, here we go, Pete. The clash is on. 50 laps for the Sunoco Modifieds as they come off of turn number 4. Double greens are out. And Keith Rocco from the outside lane has control of the start, leads the charge down into 1 and 2. Stephen Chapman settles into second. They're side by side for third.
Yeah, Rocco right out front. Chapman gives chase side by side, as you say, for the third spot. Noah Corner up on the outside. Danny Cates on the inside in the number 2 as they slide around out of turn 4. All chasing Keith Rocco down into turn 1.
Yeah, good start for Rocco. Opens it up by 3 car lengths on Chapman. Corner's going to take third away. And here comes the outside lane with Todd Owen. Started 6th up to 4th in the early going. Danny Cates settles into 5th. First side-by-side battle at the bottom of the top 10. It is Gamarlo to the inside of Nathan Pitko.
Pretty good battle right there now for the third spot as Todd Owen takes a peek underneath Noah Corner. Trying to get the nose down underneath down the backstretch. Now he will dive down deep into turn 3, but can't get up in front of Corner. Corner gets shouldered up, however, and loses a spot to not only Owen, but Danny Cates. And trying to get the momentum back, Jacob Perry is working him on the inside. Finally, Corner able to get back up to speed and runs in the 5th spot.
Down into 3 and 4 they come. 4 laps are complete when they come across this time. Rocco opens it up just a little bit more at the top of the field. Good racing going on at the bottom of the top 10. You got Nathan Pitko, Derek Randstrom trying to close in on a side-by-side battle between Zach Sangermano and Jacob Perry. Perry takes over the 6th position, but that is a gaggle of cars there, 5 or 6 together, as they continue to race side-by-side, Perry and Sangermano for that 6th spot.
Keith Rocco large and in charge out front, and a pretty good battle going on for second. Todd Owen in the 81, Stephen Chapman in the 14, and Danny Cates right there in the 2. Right now, Owen trying to make something of it.
Yeah, Todd Owen started 6th. He's worked his way up to 2nd. He won last night in the Sunoco Modified 604 regular championship race. Also captured the championship in that division. He's quickly worked his way to 2nd, and we will see still a long way to go in this one. It'll be 7 laps this time by on the stripe.
A lot of history in those first 2 positions. Rocco in the 09, Todd Owen in the 81. Not only have they dominated the Thompson-Sunoco Modifieds this year, in fact, they've won them all right from the start of the season. It's either been Rocco or Todd Owen, with the exception of Icebreaker weekend. John Pulio won one of the races on Icebreaker weekend, but otherwise it's been Owen or Rocco all season long. As Kyle pointed out, Todd Owen won the Thompson-Sunoco Modified race last night here as part of the World Series, and Modified main event.
8 laps are complete. Rocco to the outside of Todd Owen as they come into the restart zone. The green flag goes back in the air, and Rocco gets the skyrocket on the outside to the point. Owen settles right in on the back bumper. No challenge from 3rd place to him. Danny Cates is going to take that 3rd spot away from Chapman in the 14, and Noah Corners worked his way up into the top 5 as well in that number 31.
Owen stays within striking distance, and as we said earlier, these 2 guys have slugged it out here many times on the high banks of Thompson Speedway. Owen and Rocco, and they've got their own battle going now on the backstretch. Danny Cates in a comfortable 3rd. It works his way through the 3rd and 4th turn. Cates in the number 2, then Chapman for 4th, and Noah Corner rounds out the top 5. Pretty good battle for the 6th spot, and trouble for Brian Narducci. Gets the car straightened out, almost spun all the way around.
Yeah, he got loose down in 1 and 2, able to correct it and continue, but lost some positions. And that leaves the race for the lead, the one to watch here on lap number 11. Keith Rocco has it, but Todd Owen, Pete, certainly showing that Cooker construction mount has the speed it needs to contend with Rocco for the top spot. And as they come through 3 and 4, Owen is all over the back bumper of that Michael BBO number 09.
Yeah, he's keeping Rocco honest, that's for sure. as he's right there within striking distance. Danny Cates all by himself in a pretty good battle for the 4th spot between Chapman and Noah Corner. Zach Sagamano has broken out to run in the 6th position in the number 47. Then it's Jacob Perry and Nathan Pitko right after that.
13 laps up on the board in the 50-lap main event, and Rocco and Owen have pulled away from Danny Cates, who runs in the 3rd spot. Stephen Chapman right now comfortable in 4th over Noah Corner in 5th. Zach Sangermano is in 6th. The race for the 7th spot is a little tighter. Jacob Perry holding off the charges of Nathan Pitko, Eddie Gamarlo, and Chase Cook, as those 4 or 5 cars are nose to tail coming back to the back straightaway. And one of them just went off the pace. That's Jacob Perry in the 74. We were talking about how he had worked his way up a little bit, and unfortunately, he's working his way down the pit lane.
Something to miss on the number 74, and he retires to the infield. Tough break for Jacob Perry, who was hoping for a good weekend here at Thompson. Meanwhile, that battle for the lead. Here's Owen checking the outside of Keith Rocco. Does the crossover in the middle of 1 and 2. They almost touch out of the 2nd turn. Owen is testing him, and he'll do it again. Here's Owen with a dive down in turn 3, but gets loose, has to gather it back up, and that gives a couple of car lengths to Rocco.
Yeah, maybe exactly what Rocco needed to calm down a little bit, get some breathing room back, and open it up a little bit as he opens it up to 7-8 car lengths coming down the back straightaway. You know, you give Owen a lot of credit because he had every opportunity there to try to run into Rocco to save his car. Instead, he walked it down a little bit, lost the ground, and trying to charge back now, as he knows there is a long, long way to go in this race for the Sunoco Modifieds. Just 18 complete, 32 to go. And those 2, clearly the 2 fastest cars. But I'll tell you what, Danny Cates, not far behind in that number 2 as well.
Yeah, Owen's got some catching up to do. And, of course, anytime you pitch the car sideways like that, it certainly heats the tires up, can affect the handling. And he's got some ground to cover if he's going to get back up there and go toe-to-toe with Keith Rocco. Yeah, Danny Cates, as you mentioned, not too far behind them, all by himself in 3rd, and still that battle for 4th between Chapman in the 14 and Noah Corner in the 31.
Yeah, Corner's closed in the distance there, and now is all over the back bumper trying to make a run for that 4th position. Zach Sangermano by himself in 6th behind them. So some spread out, but good racing throughout the pack as they're on lap number 21 of the 50-lap distance, and Todd Owen is inching back closer to that number 09 of Keith Rocco. Going to try to make a run back at him here as we approach the 2nd half of the race. Pete, you mentioned those 2 drivers have won all year here at Thompson Speedway. And meanwhile, Noah Corner gets the run and goes around Stephen Chapman.
Yeah, so we have a new 4th place runner in Noah Corner getting around Chapman and actually starts to drive away from him. Got a long way to go to get up and battle for 3rd, however, as Danny Cates is about a half a straightaway from him in a very comfortable 3rd spot.
Oh, so you got 1 Rocco up at the front and 1 Rocco down at the back of the field.
Pace car is off, and we get ready for the restart in that shootout for the lead. Keith Rocco gets the jump as the control car and gets the green flag. They are back underway down into turn 1. Rocco will continue to pull the whole train off of turn 2 and down the backstretch.
Off of 2 they come, back down the back straightaway. Rocco leads the charge. Owen settles into 2nd. And here comes Noah Corner working the top groove on Danny Cates. They are side by side for the 3rd spot. Corner gets it from him. And I'll tell you what, Pete, a guy we have not talked about yet in this race is Chase Cook. He's worked his way up into the top 5 in that number 77. We'll see if he's able to get anything to try to mount a charge up to the front of the pack.
Noah Corner did a great job to get around Cates and take over that 3rd spot. Now he's trying to reel in those leaders. Rocco with 1 length between himself and Todd Owen. Owen's able to close that right up to about a half a length, right in the middle of the turn. Noah Corner pedaling hard, trying to get up to them and get into the battle for the lead. Danny Cates runs in the 4th spot.
Yeah,
And
we're just halfway.
you mentioned Chase Cook with a good run. Yeah, he's inside the top 5.
And how about a shout out to Brian Narducci, Pete? You remember back to the qualifying race, he got up near the wall there and had to start tail in, and he's worked his way back up into the 7th spot.
Danny Cates just made the moves on Noah Corner to try and take the 3rd spot back. Corner did the crossover, but could not make it stick. So now that Cates has gotten up to speed, he's gone back to 3rd. But while they're battling like that, it allowed the leaders to open up on them. And Rocco and Owen continue to duke it out for the lead as they head off the second turn and down the backstretch. There's Cates in 3rd, Noah Corner in 4th, and now Chase Cook starting to close on that 31 of Corner.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting as the race winds down to see how Todd Owen sizes up Keith Rocco and when he tries to make his move. We talked earlier about how he was probably testing him a little bit. Maybe not so much testing Rocco, but testing his own car to see where he could make the moves. And we've seen so many times here that these two duke it out over the final laps. And it looks like they are in shape to do it again here as they come to the line with 21 to go.
Pretty evenly matched. The 09 and the 81, we talked about how both of them were so dominant here in 2025. They continue to set a pretty hot pace. And as it was before the caution, Danny Cates all by himself in the 3rd spot. And then Noah Corner and Chase Cook race for 4th. As right now Corner's got it, but Cook stays within striking distance.
Back to the stripe they come. 31 complete, 19 remaining. And Rocco's still by a car length or so over Todd Owen. That race for the 3rd, 4th spot, Pete, is become a race only for 4th as Danny Cates has established himself as the 3rd best car in this race. Cook is trying to find a way by, and I have to tell you, having a very impressive run. As Brian Narducci, Pete, has also gone around Stephen Chapman and has worked his way up to the 6th spot.
Yeah, Chapman was pretty fast at the beginning. Was up there running with those other guys. He's started to fade here in the second half of this feature event. And as you said, got passed by Brian Narducci as Narducci picks up another spot.
33 down, 17 to go. Coming up after this, we'll have the Harry Karofis Memorial Race for the Pro 4 mods. And then we will see the ROC Modifieds out for the Race of Champions 150. As they roll back down into turn number 3. 34 now on the board. And you wonder, Pete, if Owen is saving a little bit. Rocco's opened it up at times. Owen's closed in at times. They're playing a little bit of cat and mouse probably with each other as the 4 of Leone is off the pace going pit side. So with 15 laps to go right here, all the marbles are going to be on the line here before much longer.
On the marbles. First time you've said that all weekend.
Hey, I do the
That's
best.
a great old phrase. Let
Yep.
me write that down so
Yep.
we can get it in again.
I don't have any notes, my
For
friend.
all the marbles.
Nope, it's all in my head. I have a few Bucklerisms I learned over the years from Matt Buckler. But right now, the main story is the race for the lead.
Yeah, those guys out front. Again, look at the distance they've put between themselves and Danny Cates as they've got about a half a straightaway from 2nd to 3rd. And Owen continues to dig, but Rocco's able to maintain that length and a half, now 2 car lengths over Owen as they race down the backstretch.
Into 3 and 4 one more time, and they'll come back across the stripe with the story of the day being 2 veteran contenders, Todd Owen and Keith Rocco, to race it out here. Barring the caution, nobody else has any chance to even catch up. But will Todd Owen have the chance to try to get around?
Only time will tell. Rocco trying to double up here on the weekend. As we mentioned, Todd Owen won last night, and now Rocco trying to do it again. big lead, though, for Rocco now. Over the last couple of laps, he's really opened it up. As another car slow on the backstretch, that's Mike Mayberry in the number 99. He is coasting down to pit road. Let's make sure he can make it all the way in. Otherwise, that would bring out a caution flag. Looks like he is going to make it onto pit road, just barely. And we can keep him going. Yeah, looks like Rocco has gone to the afterburners there and really opened up the lead as Owen starts to fade. And Danny Cates hasn't closed on them at all, so it's almost like Rocco picked it up here in the late stages of the race to pull away from any threat from Todd Owen.
So 6 to go as they come to the line. Rocco leads. Todd Owen has fallen back to about a second back. Gates comfortable in the third spot all by himself. And the final laps here of the Sunoco Modified Clash. Here on Sunoco World Series Super Saturday has turned into a massive day of modified, super modified. Massive amount of racing here. So many different divisions at the World Series in general, but especially today with the way Mother Nature has looked. And as they run right now, it is all Keith Rocco.
Yeah, and his speeds haven't gone down at all. In fact, they've picked up a little bit here in the late stages of the race. So we know that he was saving just enough to be dominant, and that is the case, as he's really opened it up over Todd Owen. And Owen with a big lead over the third place runner of Danny Cates. Fourth is Noah Connor in the number 31. Chase Cook in the 77. Cook runs in fifth. Brian Narducci is sixth. Stephen Chapman is seventh. Eddie Garmarlo is eighth. Nathan Pitko is ninth. Andrew Brousseau runs in the 10th spot. Andy Major 11th. Eric Leclerc 12th. Here come the leaders out of turn 4 to get the white flag. One more lap to go in the Sunoco Modified Clash. It's been all Keith Rocco. Couple of mid-race attacks from Todd Owen, but Owen just couldn't get it done. As he comes to the double checkered flags, and Keith Rocco will win it. Owen will settle for second. Here's third place for Danny Cates. Fourth for Noah Connor. Fifth to Chase Cook. Sixth for Brian Narducci. Seventh for Stephen Chapman.
Runners on in the final 15 laps.
Yeah, this thing was really awesome. I'll tell you what, these Hoosier tires for 50 laps, they don't fall off. If you got your balance right, this thing was awesome tonight. Never gave up. We still had so much more in it. But got to thank the BB family, as always. They give me a great piece. Brian Orman, JP, Jason, MJ. These guys got such a big bunch. It's hard to name them all, but I love them like family. But got to thank my good friend Ed Pulio for the pep talk before the race. He told me I really let him down last night. But, great to be back at Victory Lane. And, yeah, this is awesome.